Hello everyone, welcome to General Psychology 1. My name is Jake and I'll be your professor this semester. I just wanted to make a quick video here to kind of overview something I thought might get overlooked in the first module here, and that's going to be Module 1. So, Module 1 really overviews learning in general and the best really efficient and most efficient way to take notes, study, and learn the course material. So to start off, I wanted to go over the two distinct opportunities to learn the course material. The first is going to be through the course's content. So this is going to be the facts and theories that we're going over, the people that we go over, and really it's just the base information of it. The more important aspect is the skills that you'll be attaining through this course. So while we learn this content, and it is important, really what you're going to gain through this course is a greater level of communication and understanding of other people. This will allow you to be adaptable, even if it's not a psych major that you choose in the future. It'll allow you to branch out into other fields such as business, and really apply your skills learned in this course to those fields. So with this course, there are a certain set of goals that the American Psychological Association sets out for this course. So we're just going to go over those real briefly. The first one is going to be a base knowledge of psychology. So these are going to be those content areas that we talked about, and really the purpose of these is to set you up with a course structure that allows you to take your elective courses in psychology, take the abnormal courses, and really do well on those because you do have this firm structure foundation that you create in this class. The second goal we're going to have is focusing on scientific inquiry and critical thinking. So the scientific portion of this class really focuses on research. So we'll be going over really how to ask a good research question and how to make observations and think about those observations apart from just the base level, but really dig down to the issues that you're seeing. The third goal we're going to go over is ethical and social responsibilities. So with this research, there are certain requirements that must be met that we'll have to go over because we're dealing with human beings and there are just certain things that we're not allowed to do. The fourth goal we're going to have is communication. And this isn't just communication with each other, but rather it's communication with other people. So this course is really going to focus on, yes, the information, but also more importantly, understanding human behavior, understanding personality on really a more specific level to better communicate with people. And as I said, this can apply to other fields than just psychology and really help you out in job interviews and things like that. The last goal is going to be professional development, which is really focused on taking these skills and mastering them. Mastering the art of conversation and things like that you can apply. If you would like to see these goals more detailed, and also possibly a list of career opportunities if you are thinking about psychology, Table 1.1 and 1.2 in your textbook has a pretty extensive list of career opportunities listed in the table. So we're going to start going over the part I wanted to focus on and the learning aspect. So the first part we're going to go over are reading. So there is what's called experiential processing, which is, if you can imagine, you sitting in front of a TV and watching a show, and you've been watching it for weeks, and you're watching it, but you're not really watching it. This is kind of that experiential, you're in the moment, you're not really actively thinking about the information presented to you, you're just kind of there. We really want to refrain away from this type of processing and focus more on what's called reflective processing. This is going to be active learning, active attention, and more thinking involved, which is really going to allow you to retain the memory of the information a lot better. And in general, this is going to create what's called reflective learning, which is deliberate and self-activated, and it allows you to, as I said, remember the information better, but also apply it to your future courses and future fields. So you might be thinking, okay, we're supposed to be doing reflective instead of experiential, but how do we promote reflective versus experiential? How do I sit in class and actively learn and focus on learning rather than just sitting there and being in class and thinking that's going to be good enough? Well, the book outlines the SQ4R method, and I'm just going to go over that very quickly. The S is for survey. So went through your readings, and this is all going to be focused on your readings through the chapters. So through your readings, the S is survey, so you're going to skim through the material. So before you get involved with taking notes or looking at the questions in the back, really skim through the material, just see what the chapter in general is going to be about to give you an idea for what you might be expecting. The second, which is the Q, is for question. So this is related to not just looking at the topics for the overview and the outline, but also making questions from those. So taking a topic and asking about what is this topic actually trying to get at, and actually writing down questions for that topic that you might have before even reading the text. This plays into the next point, which is the first R, which is read. This will be you answering those questions as you're reading through. This kind of back and forth between asking questions and then answering them through the text really allows you to take the information and apply it more beyond just what's on the page. It's allowing you to basically think critically about that information versus just reading it. The second R is recite, and this is going to be kind of a technique used to help you remember the information. So as you start reading, just take it in small chunks. Don't try and read the whole chapter all at once. Try and take it a little paragraph at a time, or if you want to do a topic at a time, that's fine too. And make notes about what you remember. Don't try and write down definitions or write down all the bold points. Just try and read a section, write down notes about what you remember, and then we'll come back to that later. The third R is going to be reflect, and this is possibly the most important step in this whole process. This is where you're going to try and think critically about this information and apply it to your own experiences. So we've already thought critically because we've asked the questions and then answered those questions, but I also want you to go even further and try and apply the information to your own life. The book has a lot of examples and they're great, but if you can pick one from your own life and really stick with that, and come test day, if you can think, oh, I remember what that is, that's like this thing that my roommate did that was really annoying. That helps so much more in remembering that information instead of just trying to regurgitate it on test day. And that's why it's the most important in this whole process. The fourth R is going to be for review, and this is where you go back through the entire chapter and you're going to look through your notes and basically pick out what was missing. Pick out the information that you missed. If you missed, this is the point where you can write down definitions. If you misremembered something and got information incorrect, you can correct it. This is kind of your overview to make sure that your notes are concise and really get to the point quickly. So the second part we're going to go over is note-taking. So we want to focus on what's being called a reflective listener. So this is someone who knows how to maintain attention in class and can actively gather information as I present it. Your book outlines the listen note-taking plan. It's in a table right underneath it if you want a really good overview. It goes through it very detailed, but I'm just going to quickly go over it. The L is for lead, don't follow. So I really want you guys to come to class prepared, and by that I mean I want you to read chapters ahead of time. I know this might sound kind of productive because some of you might be used to coming to class and that's where you learn the information, but what I'm wanting to engage you in is coming to class with questions. Coming to class already having read information, already kind of anticipating what I might say in order to really understand the information fully. The I in listen is for ideas. So every lecture I'm going to have a list of core ideas that I'm going to go over. And these are the topics in the book a lot of times. So just come to class prepared with those ideas and those core concepts in mind so that you're ready and active for class. The S is going to be for signal words. So a lot of times in class I'll use things like the most important thing is, or here's the 3 steps. Things like that you should focus on and you should write down because generally they're going to be test questions. The next letter in listen is going to be for active listening. Excuse me. So this is focused really on picking a good seat in the classroom, raising your hand if you have a question, and really being active in the classroom. If everyone really participates in this step, it's going to make discussions more interesting. It's going to make class time honestly go by faster, and it's going to make it a better class in general. The last letter is N, and it's for note-taking. So my biggest advice for this class is to take detailed notes. You don't need to have a recording of my class or anything like that, but anything that I have up on the projector or in the notes section under each module, take notes on, take detailed notes on, because I do pull test questions directly from there. So last part we're going to go over is studying. The most important aspect of studying for this course is going to be to test yourself. And test yourself in a particular way. So I don't want you to do what's called mass practice. Mass practice is practice done in a long interrupted span. It's generally cramming the night before a test, and it's just shown in research to not work at all. What I want you guys instead to engage in, or attempt to really engage in, is what's called space practice. So space practice is short spurts of study over an extended period of time. And really this is going to allow you to study information and then take it in, be able to process it, understand it, and then move on to the next, and then combine all of it together at the end where you can remember it and put it all together essentially for the comprehensive review that I'll give you guys. So I hope this lesson helped. If you have any questions on it, just shoot me a quick email. This is the first micro teach of the semester. But other than that, thank you guys, and I look forward to meeting all of you in lecture, and